Welcome, everybody, for a quick impromptu chat. So, we actually get to have a couple wisdoms today. So, Fred, I'm excited for you to join me. We're going to talk more about the Mystical Insight Summit. Just kind of give everybody an update. You and I have been talking behind the scenes, and we realize it's time to, share a little bit more with our community so that way they are aware. So, thanks for joining me today because I know it's like really late at night for you. It's morning here by me. So, and you're still looking very awake and ready to go for the day. So I appreciate it.
Well, I'm actually pretty tired, but I'm also excited at the same time. And we talked about the summit, I think, just now when we met, and we just had some word about the summit, like what's going to happen. So we came up with the time that the summit's going to be from what time to what time, and it's going to be on the 8th of August from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time, which
Yep.
is the other way around
Middle
for me.
middle of the night for you in your part of the world, but yeah, it's always so hard to accommodate everybody because we have so many people from like all over the world that are in this group. So I appreciate your flexibility. So we're hoping you'll get some rest. You don't be awake for all of it. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I'll
it's
be.
an exciting opportunity. It's a powerful day, right? It's that Lionsgate, really big energy portal. So I'm excited for us to be able to do it on that day and be able to share all this astrology wisdom from these amazing people. So, and, we'll be sharing more about their bios in the upcoming weeks. So we have a list of some amazing speakers who will be talking about all things astrology, like their particular niche. And yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. And it's also free to everybody too. We should probably mention that because not
It's
everything
free.
always is. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is free. And then, if anybody wants to connect with one of the speakers for a session or a program, that'll be after. But yeah, in terms of what we're offering, this is going to be like a nice free, learning opportunity to get more into astrology. So I'm glad we're able to do this for everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty much an extraordinary time for us and an extraordinary online event that we're gonna do is for the very first time. It's gonna be something inaugural, exciting. We have five distinguished guest speakers who will join us in this summit, and they will be sharing their insights, their astrological knowledge, and of course, if you're keen to sign up for their programs, you can feel free to reach out to them. And I'm sure this will enrich our understanding of astrology. For some of you guys, you might be asking, what is this summit for? Who is this most suitable for? Well, if you're a seasoned astrologer, or if you're someone curious about astrology, or someone who is dabbling in astrology, or an astrology beginner, feel free to just come on in and just join in the conversation and the sharing. I'm sure it's going to be a transformative experience. And yeah, this summit is open for all who join the North Noden group. Yeah,
I
and
was
of
just
course,
thinking about numerology. You know how my mind is just always thinking numbers, and I just realized 8, and then 2024 is also the year of the eight. That's three eights. That's like a lot of abundance. That's like a very powerful day. So I'm like, that's really
pretty
cool.
much. Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna share that, and every week we'll give you some more updates, and then you'll figure we'll have an event posted on the group too, so you'll be able to like sign up, and you'll have access to the Zoom link, so that'll be coming up very soon. Um, and yeah, like I said, we'll share more, and I believe we have our speaker list fairly well set. However, we were also talking this morning in case something happens where some kind of unforeseen circumstance where somebody cannot be a speaker anymore. We're talking about having a couple backups just in case. So if this sounds interesting to you and I haven't spoken with you yet, please reach out to me, and you could be on the list. And this is just the beginning. We're going to do some other summits in the future. We're talking about doing a tarot one as well. So like I was thinking even October around like the other eclipses. I'm like maybe we can do something with tarot and oracle. So we'll see. So there'll be other things coming up. So this is the first of many and other exciting things to come that we've been talking about for the group. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to share about it, and then we're also going to just kind of talk a little bit about the astrological weather right now too. Anything else you want to like share about the summit that we missed, just for now, just to get people like a little more information.
Well, I think if you're having some questions about what this summit is all about in general, and even slightly more in depth, I believe we touched on it. I think the last time round when I had a conversation with you live here. Um, well, for the benefit of the audience here, for the Mystical Insight Summit. It's going to be five distinguished guests. At the same time, we're going to bring together these experts to share with us their own perspectives. And, it could be any field in astrology, it could be a particular topic in astrology. Um, they can be offering their unique perspective and a specific topic that would be 45 minutes in length. So it's going to be very enriching and full of insight. So do join us. Do join us.
Right.
I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
a
and we're not going to have the traditional topics, be like something I think things that people can definitely, learn from. It's not all going to be Placidus, it's not all going to be whole signs, not all going to be Vedic. So we're going to have various perspectives with people who have
yeah.
different experiences and different backgrounds. So I think that's good too, because astrology is so broad and there's so many areas. And I think this is good exposure to like really open the door to like more learning for everybody.
And of course, I think this is going to be a summit where we will also encourage the speakers to also I mean, be relatable at the same time. It's going to be a sharing of how astrology can be applied in practical and spiritual areas in your life. So yep, this is all that I'm going to share for now. More
Of
surprises
course. I
later.
mean, right, it has to apply to your life. And I think that's how you and I both operate. Like,
Yep.
content knowledge is great, but if we're not using it and trying to make our lives better, other people's lives better, companies' lives better, then what good does it do? So we need to use that information and apply it. And I think with our Virgo nature, it's all about like, how do we use this information? We don't just need pie in the sky ideas. Like, how does that help us live life better? And so I think that's going to, because that's how we try to present it to people, right? Like, what are the takeaways? What are things you need to know? What are the transits happening right now? Who are you in terms of your chart? Like, and why is that affecting you at this moment in time? So I think that's good for people to see. So it's not just learning like a history class. It's like learning something that you can do something with and go
Mhm.
deeper, right? Like kind of open the door and go deeper with it.
Yeah, and most importantly, how to be of service to others. That's a very, very good thing as well.
Right, right. Oh, well, right, exactly right. Sixth house, and also 11th house too, because like I feel like one of our big themes here in the group is like about the collective and doing things that like are the greater good for all. So everybody's like benefiting. So I think this is also like the kind of like the 11th house mission to be able to do this. So yeah, I think it's exciting. I mean, we're dealing with I don't think this week is too crazy astrologically. I mean, we do have the retrogrades, the Saturn and
Yeah.
Neptune, right? We have the new moon that's hitting, and like you and I were talking about, the moon is conjunct Gemini, which is an interesting energy. So yeah, but I don't think it's like so heavy, right? Like I mean, when we
Sorry,
even new
the
moon
moon.
includes Cancer, but it's not
Sorry.
too bad.
Yeah. Sorry, Natalie. The
Go ahead.
moon is actually conjunct Jupiter in Gemini right now as we speak. So I pretty love this time because it's a great time for brainstorming and ideas just flow like rivers.
You're right. You're right. Like we were coming up with ideas, you and then I was brainstorming ideas for like a friend of mine about like for his business, and I was just realizing I'm like, wow, ideas are just coming like from everywhere. You could do this, you could do this, you could do this, and then I didn't even hit me. We're in Gemini moon. You're right, and I also my Jupiter is in Gemini anyway, so it's like I'm always in that expansive mode. So yeah, that's it. It's an interesting time, very cerebral, lots of ideas and also reflection, right? Because we're in this retrograde. So it's like, Saturn is having us kind of think back to these lessons, like these karmic
Mhm.
lessons. And like, are we holding with our boundaries? And then also Neptune with our dreams. So I think, yeah, I think it's not bad though. It shouldn't be hurting anybody or like hitting anybody too hard. But I think it's like that time to like kind of be a hermit and reflect a little bit.
Well, we're actually on a Pisces rising right now in transit. So Saturn is right there and it's squaring the moon and Jupiter conjunction in the fourth house. I mean, an hour ago, it probably would have been a moment of time where ideas would just flow because it's in the fifth. But now Jupiter and the Moon are in the fourth, so
Nurturing.
it's more the home environment and
Yes.
yourself and your own identity and all that. So, I mean, at this point in time, if you guys are feeling a bit down in the dumps, it's okay because this is going to be just a little while. So just hang in there. I know
Right.
things are like crashing down. I know things are turning upside down for you because of the retrograde, but yeah, just hang in there, man.
I mean, it's also cancer season. It's all month. It's cancer season, so it is going to be that time, like really needing like the safety and security. Whether it's in your home or in your finances. I just tell people reach out to others. Like if you're feeling alone, don't close yourself off. Do the opposite. Like reach out. So I've learned from myself. Sometimes I do want to be a hermit. I'm Cancer Sun, but I've learned as soon as I want to close off, instead contact people. Use my Libra. Use my Gemini stellium energy. Do the reverse, talk to people, reach out, let them know like you're struggling, you're in your emotions, because that like helps get you out so you don't get yourself so deep. And I think people just need to know there's other people around. And even though this is an astrology group, I've been seeing a lot more posts like related to things with people struggling and their mental health and all of that, because it's all connected. All this, especially when we understand somebody's chart and we see their placements, we can understand like, oh yeah, you are going to be having a hard time because of what's going on. And this at least gives somebody reassurance. Like it's supposed to be challenging right now, because we can look at it from this lens, not like a therapist necessarily, but like also from your chart, because like this is who you are. This is why it's troubling.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think we need to strike a balance sometimes. It's good to have some solitary time. Oh my God, I got tongue tied.
Okay, okay.
um, yeah, sometimes we need to have some time of solitude to ourselves. It's good to kind of be quiet you know I mean, I'm an introvert, so I say this for myself, but for those of you extrovert, I know this is going to be a little bit more challenging, but it's good to balance between going out and socialize with others and get to know people and
Mm-hmm.
talk to people. It helps, I mean, therapeutically as well. I mean, you can just hang out with people and let loose, but have some time for yourself to quieten down. I think that is also a good way of healing yourself as well, because you need to be by yourself, and that's where you can get to go deep within yourself to kind of like heal. I think that helps. Yeah, in whatever that you're going through right now.
I feel like
Yeah.
you're speaking to me. Like I feel like I'm being called out. It's so funny because I'm very extroverted, and I think like almost all of my close friends are introverted. And I don't know if this is like because of the yin and the yang, like like searching for this person is that. And I do tap into myself. I do that, but also the concept of being alone, like or
Yeah.
this is an uncomfortable concept for me, where I could do that for a little bit, give me 10, 20 minutes, but like but having to like have an old all day of being alone, to me that would feel very sad and torturous, not like renewing, even though I understand that like I need some of this time. But I feel like I do better when I get the distraction from the other people, and I can still process because I'm processing my thoughts in relation to others, sometimes better than if I'm just sitting myself, because I could get myself to a point of wallowing, and like all of this, and other people will like make me think of something. I'm like, oh, I can relate to this, I can relate to that, I don't feel so alone. And I think kind of like nature of support groups. So I feel like for me, I do worse alone, even though I understand I need to do it. It's such a harder place for me to be than when I'm in community with others, like sharing, like commiserating and all.
No, you don't do worse alone, really, Nelly. You
I
don't.
feel,
I,
I do. I feel me
I,
personally that I know, but who knows? I don't know. Like I don't love that reality. And I think
Mhm.
right that gets into a deeper. Who knows? You have to almost kind of like analyze some of my chart placements too. But yeah, I feel like I just, I think it's like all the Gemini energy and Libra. Like I feel like that like draws me. I don't embody the Cancer as much, like where I'm like, in the Cancer shell kind of a way. I could be in the emotions part, that yes, and I can be intuitive with that part, yes, but like the hiding away is like my least favorite thing to do. So I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying
Maybe
you're wrong.
maybe it's just a lesson that we're supposed to learn. I mean, in this lifetime and at this moment in your life, at this stage of our lives, or whoever out there who are also going through the same thing, it's probably the lessons because like you said, I agree with the yin and yang thing that you said. Like, you're an extrovert and your close friends are introverts, so the people you meet, coincidentally or maybe
No
not,
coincidences, right?
they
Right.
they are there for a reason, and perhaps they are the mirror self,
Hmm.
like the mirror self, like you are meeting yourself that is somewhat the direct opposite of, yeah, it's something which I do not know how to explain pretty clearly, but it's something like a mirror self where you're supposed to be in tune or come to term with that opposite self of yourself so that you can be one as a whole.
Right, right. I mean, I think a lot of people that we meet, like we're meeting certain people that are that mirror for us, but they don't have to be this exact same person, but we're picking up certain characteristics that we need to be able to pick up that maybe they embody that we don't, and we're supposed to see that, and that helps us
But
throughout.
even for people you don't really like, because even for people who you don't really like, they are what you call the disowned self, like what my good friend Dr. Sanders actually mentioned in one of my podcasts. So yeah, it's something like a disowned self. It's something that you should own, and or rather you may want to own that self.
Mhm.
In this lifetime, it's a lesson for you to learn, perhaps.
I feel like
So
I feel like every day people are telling me about those lessons, and I'm a teacher, so it's really funny when people are telling me about all these different lessons that I need to learn. But yeah,
that's a sign. That's a sign.
I know.
Probably that's a sign. Yeah.
And I'm stubborn and learning. I don't have any Taurus in my chart yet. I do have such a stubborn nature sometimes, where it might be the Pluto power play where I don't want to listen, or like a needing for having control and believing I can figure it out better than listening to all the external guidance. But I eventually do listen. But it's like also Virgo likes to take everything in. So Gemini too, right? They like to take in and gather data, analyze the data, think about it, process it, and decide, do I really want to do what this person said, or do I know best? It's not such a bad thing, but I think also like it could be failure to act, and failure to like do things, self-sabotaging, right? Like not doing in your best interest because you think you
Yeah.
know better. And in the end, a lot of times the advice I was given was probably true, but I had to like come to terms with it myself. It's like part of the journey, right? And then we can share this with other people that this
Yeah.
is what would be helpful for you. You can learn from my painful mistakes that I didn't do this. And astrology, I think, gives us also that lens to see like how we are and why we're interacting and what's going on with the planets and how they're impacting our behavior too. So,
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of astrology. That's the beauty of astrology because it tells us something that we do not know sometimes, something that we do not know ourselves, or it could be something we already know. And it's a form of validation, and it's a form of an extra insight for us. But the danger of that is that we can live and continue to live in denial if we know our chart, if we know the placements, but we kind of like, no, maybe not. It's like we know who we are, what we're made of, what kind of personality we have, what's going to happen for us, but we do nothing about it. Oh,
mhm,
that's a tragic ending there, because it could be tragic. It could be something that we would miss out, in future. But
right.
the beauty of astrology is that it tells us something that we do not know, and we can act on it, and that's an opportunity for us there to do something with our lives. But if we don't, well, sometimes we miss things out. Sometimes we don't, but most of the times we do. And there will be moments where you say, if only I know, if only I have done this.
Yeah, but that's the lesson, right? That's the path. You had to go that road to figure something
Well,
out
yeah,
because it led to the next opportunity. So we can't go back in time, right? And we don't want to like make ourselves feel guilty. And it's like, okay, we can do better. Once you know more, you do better. And then, something had to happen. certain experience, a certain person that had to go on your path to lead you to the next path. So it's all divinely orchestrated, you know. And it's like, well, we do have free will, that's true, but there are also some lessons that are supposed to happen along the way, and you can't avoid them. They're going to keep popping up. So I truly believe that, you know. um, but yeah, I think it's good. I just realized we can talk and talk and talk, but we just want to give like a quick update because I have a live coming up for Wisdom Wednesday, and I need to like make sure that I'm ready for that. That's coming up in about like what, 20 minutes. So I'm like, I probably should get ready for that one. So Fred, thank you for joining me. I'm excited for us to get into the Mystical Insights Summit, and yeah, we'll be sharing more in the group. So everybody, stay tuned.
All right. I'm pretty
All
excited
right,
too. And all the best for your life.
sounds good. All right, have a good night.